Man, I just want to say congratulations, Ricky. It took me, I think it was 5 years to get 2,000 subs when I first started. You are absolutely blowing it away. So well done, man. And my story in a nutshell, then, I'm from a little town in between Liverpool and Manchester called Widnes. Didn't have much money growing up. Went to America, made a couple of million in the stock market in my 20s. No common sense whatsoever. Flew my best mate over, Wild Man. R.I.P. Wild Man. He died a couple of years ago. He's a big fella. And we ended up establishing like a rave ecstasy business. May 16th, 2002, SWAT team came, arrested us. Over 100 of us in total over the months in groups. And we started out in a famous jail run by a sheriff called Sheriff Joe Arpaio. And he prided himself on being America's toughest sheriff. He had two TV shows back then. One was Inmate Idol, where they do like singing and stuff in the jail with celebrities on the panel. And they had Smile You're Under Arrest, where people with outstanding warrants would get a letter in the mail saying they'd won a prize. And then when they went to collect the prize, he would pop up with his goon squad and throw them in the jail. But behind that facade, Ricky, he created an extremely dangerous environment. And that's how my story really started to garner attention. Was I asked the guard, how do you guys get away with these things? Dead rats in the food, cockroaches crawling on us at night times, guards murdering mentally ill prisoners. They even murdered a blind prisoner. People can Google Brian Crenshaw, Scott Norberg. And the guard said to me, the world doesn't give a shit about prisoners, and the world has no idea what's going on in here. So my writing got smuggled out. This was back in 2004, maximum security Madison Street Jail, through visitation, put on the internet as a blog, John's Jail Journal. So it wasn't in my name, John, Jon. It's still up right now, time-stamped, everything. And that's what established me on the internet. I was still inside. I got out in 2007. YouTube's channel started in 2007. And then I spent the next 10 years living in my mate's bedroom, just building up my socials.
Oh, did you?
yeah, on the dole. Yeah. And me and my girlfriend go over there one night. A bunch of Mexicans answer the door. I'm like, where's Peter? And they're like, Peter? Yeah, Peter. Peter's Wild Man. And they're shaking their heads, no Peter here. I'm like, yeah, Peter lives here. Anyway, one of them starts brandishing a gun. So me and my girlfriend start backpedaling across the street. Wild Man just bounces over the street, all smiles. I'm like, what's happened to your place, Peter? We could have got shot. What the hell's going on? And he said, they're the local crack dealers. They like to move around a lot. I'm letting them stay in my place. They're buzzing because I can do one crack rock in one breath. It goes sizzle, 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 ding, 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 ding. And it calms down my red dots. So they're just giving me all this free stuff, while they're staying in my place. And the one at the back, he's over here from Colombia. He's running it, and he wants to invest in the stock market. And I'm just like, oh my God, shaking my head. But then I get a call from my aunt a couple of months later. I'm in the office, and she says, Wildman's place is headline news. Someone's dead. There's yellow tape around it. You need to get your ass up there in case it's him. I shot up there, and I saw the yellow tape. I saw the camera crews. I saw the cops. I had contraband in the car, let's say. So I sped off. I came back at night when it all calmed down. Everyone had gone. There was blood on the step. I walk in the front room, and Peter's sat in there with this man with this like stone, like gravedigger face. And he said he was a homicide detective. So I said to after we discussed things, I said to, and the homicide detective had gone, I asked Wildman what had happened. And he said that a couple had come over to buy crack from the Mexicans, but the Mexicans had moved back over the street. So the woman went over the street to get the product. The man stayed with Peter. The man had a gun. Peter had never seen guns before. He says to the man, I'm from England. We don't have guns. Can you show me how it works? And he goes, yeah, the safety's on. Pulled the trigger and shot himself in the head right in front of Wildman and fell dead on the step. So my right-hand guy, Cody Bates, he was the preppy, clean cut guy who did a lot of running around because the cops wouldn't suspect him of anything. He went down there, found the house was completely blown up, come back, shit himself, thought they were dead, thought the locals had killed them. I had a guy who was working for me. I'll call him Frankie Flowers. He was a gay guy. He was one of the hookups to the gay scene for us. He was an ex-US military sniper who spoke Spanish. So I sent him down there, and he ascertained from the local people where they were. Now, the wild ones would always fight. Their relationship, I'm appalled by domestic violence and any violence against women. But their thing was they'd have a fight, and then, they beat each other up. He'd hit her, she'd stab him. And then the next day, they were like cave people. They'd just be kissing and making up. It was like foreplay for them. So they were down there having a fight. They stopped for a smoke break. Now, the gas pipes, they're not very well made in Mexico, and they cracked the gas pipe. So when they went to light up their smokes, Wildman and Wildman have both told me the story separately. They saw a wall of blue flame, and it started on the carpet. A Wildman grabbed Wildwoman, and as they were running out the house, the windows just blew out, proper like Hollywood movie style. And then some Bill and Ben fire engine came that couldn't put the fire out. It's mental. And they made me pull out my charge sheet, and they saw my charges, and they were impressed by the bail being $750,000. They were like, "Damn, are you guys the mafia? What did you guys do? Who did you guys kill?" And I was like, "No, raves, ecstasy. We never killed anyone. We're all chilled out." So that was my introduction. Tracy the hippie, that came later on because you constantly moved around when I was moved. But they another guy who came in with me, he was a suspected chomo. So what happened was they waited till he was in the shower and they battered him, and they left him whimpering in a pool of blood. And then this big guy, he was like, "How come we can still hear him, dog?" "Oh, not good enough. You didn't smash him good enough." "Yeah, we smashed him. Not good enough." He goes in like he's trying to crack this guy's head open like it's a coconut, just crack, crack, crack until this guy was unconscious. Then every 30 minutes, a guard does a security walk. So the guard comes in, they see this guy laid out, and they're like, "Lock down, everybody, lock down." We run back to the cell. And when he's getting carried out on a stretcher, there wasn't just blood coming out of his head. It looked like yellow stuff was coming out of his head. And he never came back, so I don't know what happened to him. Yeah. But the gang, they explain all the rules to me. They're like, if someone calls you a punk, a bitch, or hits you, you must fight them on the spot, or else the whole gang will attack you. You must take showers, or they'll smash you for bad hygiene. You can't go making friends with the guards. They'll attack you for snitching. You can't sit at the tables with the other races. They'll attack you for that. Now, because I've been in the horseshoe for days, I was stinking. And they were like, "Yeah, you need to take a shower right now, dog. You fucking stink after being through the horseshoe. Hygiene is very important. You're representing the white boys." The wall, put his head forward, flicked his head back, and instantly broke the guy's nose. They were pulverizing him. I was on the phone to my missus in the day room, and the guards are supposed to wait for backup in a situation like that, but there was these two tough guards. And what happened was the blacks were playing on the table in the day room. They saw the violence upstairs, and all hell just broke loose. People were picking up mops and brooms, doing like ninja moves. They were trying to get up the stairs to help the other black guy, and people were pushing him down the stairs. There's this massive black guy, and he came down the stairs like a bowling ball and just knocked everybody out the way. So this battle on the stairs, I'm trying to get back to my cell through this. And then that guard just came in a spacesuit with a fire extinguisher sized canister of chemical spray and just blasted the whole room. And it goes in your eyes and the snot runs. I had an old timer cellmate, and he was like, "Just wrap a wet towel around your head and blink, get all the shit out of your eyes." In the end, the white torpedo and SmackDown were still in the cell, and they just kept spraying the spray, and they were just fighting blind. and they just kept spraying and spraying while they were fighting blind. And then when they finally stopped, the white guy came out first with his nose pointing over here. And he said, "Before you put the handcuffs on, do you mind if I put my nose back in place?" And he just went, put his nose back in place.